Canadian, is our voyage into the points and miles game really feasible? I mean, our neighbors to the south seem to have unlimited option, but what's available to us? Well, I've gone down that rabbit hole, and actually, I'm pretty sure it's doable. And I'm going to share with you what I have learned so far. I want to travel the world, don't you? If you're here watching this video, you probably do. You're probably a travel dreamer like me. Always have a trip on the radar, thinking about the next trip while you're on your current trip. You watch endless YouTube videos and live vicariously through those travelers, dreaming of the day it's going to be you. Do you remember Scott, Justin, and Andre from that show back around 2008, 2010 called Departures? Those young guys just did it. Traveled all over the world for a year at a time. They really inspired me and piqued my interest in seeing more of this great, big, wonderful world. What are you watching? For me, it's Mark Wiens. Love that guy. Anthony Bourdain, of course. I'm a bit of a foodie too, as well as the retirement travelers. And there's a newer one called Fire We Go, which, if you don't know, means financial independence, retire early. They're Canadians too, and they're slow traveling the world, and I just love them. Anyway, I can talk about traveling endlessly, but back to what we are doing here. You get it. We're travel dreamers. Well, I've decided I want to stop dreaming and start doing. And I'm going to take you guys along into my deep dive into collecting Canadian points and miles, my strategic planning, and my journey, because I know that you want to know how to do it too. So being an average Canadian, how are we going to make this happen? Welcome to Canada to Anywhere, from dreams to departures. This video is a bit of an introduction to the channel where I'm going to share with you my real life journey, planning trips, collecting and using points and miles, and booking flights and hotels for as little as possible. So I'm Shelley, retired for 4 years. I'm a Canadian snowbird, and I've been spending my winters in Mexico. Well, last year I got to thinking that while I love it here, the years are starting to pass by, and I still want to see more of the world while I'm healthy and able. These are my go-go years, so I better get going. My sister and I have always dreamed of going to Southeast Asia as a bucket list trip. So I thought, let's see what she thinks. She's retiring at the end of this summer, so the timing is perfect. I messaged her and said, hey, what do you think about doing this? And she was like, oh, heck yeah. So that's how this dream trip of mine came about. So how am I going to do it? I'm retired, no fancy pension, although I did do some good financial planning and investing while I was younger, because I always knew I wanted to get away from those cold Canadian winters when I retired. But I am by no means rich. But I'm determined to turn this dream into a departure. What's your dream? Do you have a bucket list trip you want to plan together? Let me know in the comments, and I'm sure what's coming in my videos is going to help you reach your departure as well. So when I first started researching this topic, those channels like Prince of Travel and Canadian Jet Setter and a bunch of American travelers came up during my research. I love those guys, don't get me wrong. They have some great information on current card bonuses and hotel deals. But honestly, watching Ricky and Graham travel all over the world in business class seats a number of times a year, it's really not realistic for you and I, average Canadians. And they don't really give you any information about how they collected all those points to make all those trips. And I really couldn't find any channels that did that. So I went down that rabbit hole all by myself, and I figured a lot of things out. And that's when I decided to start this channel, because there really isn't anybody doing a step-by-step real-life guide to help beginners figure it all out. I've learned a lot in the years since I decided to make this trip, and I want to share it with you guys. If you're just starting out on the points and miles journey, I'm actually making it happen one step at a time. In my next video, I'm going to tell you what I've done so far and where I'm at. If this sounds interesting to you, go ahead and subscribe so you can follow my journey and hopefully start your own. As we go on in this video series, I'm going to take you into more detail into every step I've taken and still have to take to be ready for takeoff in October 2025. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.